friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hey book besties, and welcome back to Bookish Bliss for episode 97. We have a lot to discuss today.
This week we are continuing our journey through Sarah J. Maas's tandem read of Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn, and this week it is all about chapters 57 to 61 in Empire of Storms and 43 to 51 in Tower of Dawn. So you don't have to read the entire books to listen, but you do need to be caught up on the chapters we're covering because we are going full spoiler mode.
I felt it on my nose. I'm like, oh, back up.
Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
I have the Polar Salsa, the gnome, and then I'm going to be extra thirsty tonight because I have 2 extra chapters. So I got my electrolytes right here for backup. What are you drinking
Megan's
tonight?
Sandwich tonight.
It's a Megan sandwich tonight, indeed.
I am having a bubbly because I went to Whole Foods and they did not have the ginger lime mule.
Oh,
the worst. They had other ones, but not that. So
it's very popular.
I have a bubbly.
Very good, darling. Oh, I heard you crack. Let me crack it open.
I know. I love that noise.
Me too.
So
weirdos.
Sick.
We're like, yeah, I love it.
Cheers.
I have a lot of energy.
Guys, no, we're on a fucking other level tonight, so we'll be warned.
Be ready.
Cheers to episode 97 and part 10 of the tandem read. Cheers.
Wow, cheers.
Part 10.
Wow, part 10.
Fucking tired. I'm just kidding.
If you think about it, we've read collectively already 1,000 pages because we're at least 500 pages in both books.
Yeah.
In 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it matches up though, because we try to do 100 pages a week, so good math.
It's it's actually so crazy. But here we are. But
here we are. And we're not drunk. We're just full of energy, full of piss and vinegar tonight.
Someone said the other day, they're like, we just love your friendship and how funny you guys are. And she was like, thanks for sharing your friendship because we have been doing this for 2 years.
2 years. That's crazy. 2 years of BBP.
We'll have to give a little update on all of that maybe during final thoughts of this because.
Well, our final thoughts will be our 100th episode.
Yeah, so it's a great time to celebrate and share some 2-year updates.
Yes. And have Amy with us.
She's
been with us since day one. She's a true
BBP fan.
Yeah, she is.
Love her.
Love her. Can't wait to talk to her about these books.
Yes. What is your bookish news for this week?
Oh my God.
Miss, I've read like 12 books already this year.
I can't even believe I read 12 books this year. I don't even know what books I read. I have to look because that's so many. But I should say most of them I am listening. Some of them I'm listening and reading. Some of them I'm reading.
It all counts.
Most of them I'm doing listening. Libby, for free.
Support your local libraries.
Yeah. Oh my God, Amy would love that. She's a librarian.
Yes.
Okay. Kingdom of the Wicked. That was one of the books Megan got me in the book challenge that we did at Barnes & Noble. Yep. What book was it, though? Was it one that you think I would have liked?
Oh, shoot. That was, yes.
Yeah? It was good. You were right. I loved it. Can't wait to read the other ones.
Yeah, because the one I rated 5 stars was Phantasma, and then the one out of your comfort zone was Pack Up the Moon.
Yeah. Which I also have on my Libby. So I'm going to read that one soon. I gave it 4.25 stars only because
it's a YA.
Yeah. But it was good. It was good. I really liked it a lot. The Hunted Heir I read in preparation for our book club.
Yes.
Gave it 4.75. I'm being picky this year with my 5 stars.
Yeah.
But I really did like it. It was good. Oh, Sunrise of the Reaping. Finally got that in. The Hunger Games book about Haymitch.
Oh, yeah.
So sad, though. So sad. Gave it a 4.25. That was really sad. And then I finished the 5th book of Vampire Diaries. And I finished Do You Remember by Frida McFadden. So yeah, I've been busy.
Yes.
But honestly, great books. But I'm being picky this year with my 5 stars.
Yes.
I'm at 12 though. If you want to see the whole collection, go to my highlights on bookish.ad because I'm putting them all there.
Yes. Follow
I've never did a
her.
highlight before, so go
I
give it
love
some
it.
love.
Her 2026 Road to 100 books.
Yes, road to 100.
She's already crushing it. She's ahead of her goal.
Literally, I think I'm like 4 books ahead.
That's
And now I
crazy.
started Harry Potter, which I'm excited about, the 4th book.
Goblet of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What have you read this week, darling?
Actually, darling, I read 3 books this week.
Whoa.
I know. Libby has been life-changing for me.
Same.
So
Love it.
I read Hexed by Emily McIntyre, which was the
Yay.
book that you rated 5 stars. I think I rated it 4.25 because I also am being very particular about my 5
Ooh.
stars this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't cry or
Yeah.
feel all that emotional about it, but I really did like it. I think at the end I was a little okay, I'm ready for this to be done.
Yeah.
But
It
I
was one
really
of the
did
longer ones.
I did like it. So I think Hooked, I don't know why that one's still stuck in my head.
No, I agree. That one's the number 1 for me too.
I like Hooked, Hexed, and then Scarred because those are the only 3 that I've read.
Yeah, I like Scarred 5th out of the 6th. So the last one was the fucking church one. Don't do it. It's awful. Priest and no. I just hate priest stuff. I listened to it and he had a creepy voice. So
yeah. I did oh my God, the guy in Hexed that voiced the guy, so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit. I go, Amanda, I thought I was broken after reading Taurus season, but I'm not broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked giving the villain the love story.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know what it is, but at the end of all these books, yeah, we're never going to have children and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's perfectly fine. To each their own about that. I don't know if I'll ever have kids. You don't know if you'll ever have kids. And that's perfectly fine. But I just find it so interesting that it's a theme in the 3 books that I've read of hers. I'm never going to have a child to fuck up their life and whatever. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. After that, I finished Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. And that was my
you've been
first.
dying to read that one, right?
Dying to read it because there's Rhysand references. They say at the beginning, it's he looks like Rhysand. He looks like Rhysand. And of course, I'm oh my God, I love that. I think I ended up giving it 3.25 stars. It was my first Abby Jimenez book, and people talked so highly of it. But I don't know, I wasn't vibing with their love story. And also, I loved the interactions with her family. Her mom has dementia, early onset. And just the struggles they go through as the family. And I really loved that dynamic, except the dad, I don't know, ends up cheating on the mom. And he's yeah, I need to get an outlet in somewhere. And everyone needs human connection. All I do is take care of her all day. Maybe that's true. And I guess it shows the complications of life and how not everything's black and white. But I felt the family didn't even care except the son. And they're yeah, well, dad needs someone too. And it's just I just didn't know how I felt about that. And I guess it does make you think what would you do in that situation? So it is really thought-provoking. But then the couple the story revolves around, they had this banter and he was almost rude to her at the beginning. And I was oh my gosh, enemies to lovers. Except they go on one date shortly after that interaction. It's insta-love, basically. And I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Or
neutral. 3.5s. Neutral. 3.25.
Yeah.
3.25.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
very
then
neutral.
I finished The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark, which is our in-person book club.
Yes, I still must read that this week.
I rated it 4 stars, I think, because I did figure out the ending. So it had kept me I didn't know. And then I figured literally everything. So I was I
know. It's so satisfying, but also so unsatisfying.
And then there was the last chapter where I thought everything I figured out was going to be wrong. And then I wasn't. And it was just a cute, not I don't know what the scene was supposed to do, but I was just oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, great. I have to read it now.
I did really like the story. and like how everything progressed, and I liked the flashbacks and the present day and the dynamics between the characters. I really
Mm.
did like it, and that was my first Julie Clark thriller. So yeah, no, I really liked it, but I would have given it the 5 stars if it had like shocked me at the end.
Shocked you, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just too good, Megan. You thriller queen.
Oh yeah. No.
All right. Well, we've got plenty to talk about. So we should get started with the good stuff and break
Yes.
down the tandem read part 10.
Yes.
We are double starting with me and ending with me. Wow.
And you'll hear
That's
from
a
me
lot of
every
bread.
once in a while. I think I have one like double chapter.
I think so too, but I have a double chapter right after that. So fuck me. I have some revelations to discuss, so we must get started.
Oh shit. I'm scared.
Here we go. Tower of Dawn, chapter 43. Kale was given a new mount for the journey, a fierce, temperamental mare named Farasha, whose name meant butterfly despite her fiery temperament. She came without a brace, and though she was difficult, Kale refused to let the royal family see him ask for another horse. Riding made him think of the Astarian stallion Dorian had once gifted him for his birthday, and he couldn't help wondering what had become of it. Whether the witches had taken it, killed it, or fed it to the wyverns. Farasha herself was almost like an Astarian stallion. I think it's like Munique or Muniki. I don't know. But it was a desert bred offshoot of the Astarian line, nearly as fast and perfectly suited for the brutal heat of the southern sands. Kale, Irene, and the royals, including Cashin, Hazar, and Argan, rode with a dozen guards as they passed through the eastern gate, racing one another and making bets as if the entire outing were a birthday celebration. Oh yeah, it was. When they stopped to water the horses, Kale struggled to mount again without the block he usually relied on, but he managed it through sheer determination. They continued on, cresting a desert ridge, and the sweeping view left Kale breathless. Irene remarked that the desert beauty wasn't for everyone, but it sang to her, and Kale found himself agreeing. They eventually found a place to camp, and Kale told Irene that he owned an Astarian horse back home and wanted to see how the Muniki compared. If he won their race, he said he would claim a kiss whenever and wherever he chose. Irene agreed, and her laughter and bright smile lit up the desert dusk, and Kale felt something inside him loosen. Her joy was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen or heard, and he was grateful for it down to his very bones.
No.
Oh, I love this chapter for Kale.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been given some shit to Tower of Dawn, but also I feel like this is a really good Tower of Dawn section. So
Yeah,
we're
I
making a
mean,
comeback.
maybe this is like what I remember is the end of this book.
Yeah, just like a simple chapter about them traveling to this desert. We know we have to go to this oasis to find out some information about the Valg, but it's a whole birthday party disguise celebration. So they're just fucking being children, literally, just like racing through the desert. And
Well, they're like actually acting their age for once in
yeah,
their
exactly.
lives.
They're like chilling. Like they're
Mhm.
just not stressed like they are every other fucking day.
Mhm.
And even Kale on a horse, he didn't even need a block to get on this horse. He's way better off than when he came.
Yeah, he's out of the wheelchair.
Literally, he's out of the wheelchair. He's walking. He's able to step up on a horse without a block. Like
Yep.
nothing is going to stop that man.
Yeah.
He's just happy to see how joyful Irene is in this moment.
That's his
Like,
person. He
I
found his person.
know. So cute.
This is what happens when you find your person. You just
know.
become so happy.
Literally, like he was so miserable before.
Mhm.
Like, oh, everything's Ayla's fault. And
Yeah,
now he's
even
like,
when he was dating Aelin, he was like, everything is your fault.
he's passed on that baton to Adians.
Yes.
Let's check on them, by the way.
Let's go back to Empire of Storms, but not with me.
But not with you, darling. Very good, you little tricky girl.
We are at another level.
Well, you know what it is? We're stir crazy. We just had that crazy snowstorm. I left the house for the first time today.
Me too.
But
I mean, Russ picked me up after he got off of work just to bring me to Stop and Shop. I didn't even need anything. I just walked around with him.
That's what it is. And I've been sleeping really good now that I have AGZ.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not an ad.
I'm just glad to be, I guess, back in my own space for once, like for more than one
You've
day.
been traveling, yeah.
Yeah. Though I do love recording at Russ's house, but
Yeah,
back with
because
my
you can sit
bookshelves
on your
today.
on your comfy couch.
Hmm.
One day I'll be on the couch.
One day.
All right, Empire Storms Chapter 57. Allied had never imagined that witnessing Aylin's raw, unrestrained power would make her bones tremble, but standing before the Queen of Terrasin was terrifying, in a way she hadn't prepared for. Lorcan stood tense beside her, fully expecting a fight. When Aylin turned toward Rowan, the Prince of Doranel, Allied wondered how much influence he held over her, and what would happen to them if Rowan despised Lorcan. Lorcan sensed Allied's doubt and only snorted, muttering that he didn't care. Liar. Then something brushed Allied's shoulder, an invisible warning urging her to look. She noticed golden eyes flicker in the scorched grass an instant before a massive lion burst from hiding. She screamed Lorcan's name. Lorcan spun, blade in hand, just as the lion lunged, and then a wolf followed. Its attack, precise and lethal, meant to kill. Allied threw herself between them, sobbing, and the wolf's jaws closed on her arm instead of Lorcan's throat. Blood poured down her skin. Lorcan roared in fury, demanding to know why they had attacked. The lion shifted into a fey male, Gabriel, and said they were under orders and barely holding themselves back. They begged Lorcan to lower his shield so they could heal Allied. Allied wondered desperately where Aylin was. Lorcan hesitated only a moment before whispering that he wanted to go to Pernath with her, then dropped the shields. The hole in Allied's arm terrified Lorcan far more than the threat of two fey warriors. He had been forgotten by everyone, yet she still had hope. She had shown him kindness. She had offered him a home. Gabriel moved to heal her, mortified by what had happened, but Fenris, unable to restrain himself, struck at Lorcan with a sword strike Lorcan himself had once taught him. Before the blow could land, a blast of wind slammed both males to the ground. Rowan's voice cut through the chaos. This ended now. Lorcan and Allied were under Aylin's protection, and harming them would be an act of war. It bought them a fragile moment of peace just as Aylin herself arrived, demanding to know what the hell was going on. Allied was overwhelmed. She had no words for Lorcan or for the queen who approached her with unexpected gentleness. Aylin asked if she was Allied Lockin, then told her that she looked just like her mother. She apologized, truly apologized for Marion's death, explaining that Marion's final words had been a message of love for her daughter. Allied broke down sobbing as Manon stepped into view. Gabriel apologized again for the bite, but Allied held no anger. She noticed Adian next, and the sword of Orinth at his side. The blade her uncle had claimed was destroyed. It had survived. They had survived. Allied explained that she had owed her life to Lorcan and Manon and to Kaltain, who had entrusted her with the word key. She told Aylin everything, how Kaltain had said the key could open any door and how she'd been told to find Selena and Aylin without knowing they were the same person. Dorian arrived to formally meet her, and Allied finally understood the weight of what she carried. Aylin thanked Lorcan for bringing Allied safely to her. She declared Elaine hers, only for Manon to challenge her, asking what if she wanted to claim Allied as a Blackbeak. Aylin countered, Blackbeak or Kraken? Allied was stunned. What did Manon have to do with the Krakens? And where was Abraxos? Manon coolly informed Lorcan that his claim on Allied ranked dead last. Aylin warned Lorcan that if he ever hurt Allied, she would melt his bones. Adian added that he would break every single one first. They walked away, waiting for Allied to join them. She did, and she didn't look back. Rowan asked Lorcan how he found them. Lorcan said the Dark God had nudged him, and the Ilken had done the rest. He warned Rowan that Aylin's power could destroy her as easily as it could save them. Rowan knew. When Aylin had looked at him earlier, he had nearly fallen to his knees. She made him want to live, and he wondered if Allied had done the same for Lorcan. Rowan asked about Lorcan's mission, and Lorcan demanded to know what they were doing in this miserable place. Rowan replied that Aylin would decide what to tell him. Lorcan called him a good dog, and Rowan bit back the retort about the leash Allied now had on Lorcan.
It's true.
That was so long.
A lot of these chapters are long.
Crazy.
Wow.
I hope you guys have extra time today because this is going to be a long one.
Yeah.
Crazy. So we start off this chapter with Allied is basically terrified of Aylin, which, like, duh, I would be too. She's literally crazy strong and has this insane power.
Well, yeah, her first impression of her after all these years is watching her just, like, destroy these Ilken on her own, basically.
Yeah, and she saw the swarm in the sky, so, like, she knows the gravity of, like, her power now, so. And she's terrified. Obviously, Aylin is never going to hurt her, but of course, that's her first reaction.
Mhm.
But she was also scared because she didn't know if Rowan had influence on her, and if he hated Lorcan, was she going to be hated as well for being with him? And Lorcan kind of sensed this, and he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But he definitely was a little hurt by that.
Well, I think he cares what happens to Alide too, and if she will be accepted by her people who she's gone through all of this to get here
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, of course. And she just wants to be part of this whole thing and
Mhm.
Aylin's acceptance. So I totally get it, but I feel a little bit for Lorcan in this moment because he's like a heartless bastard. For him to feel something, I'm like, oh,
I know.
he
He
actually
cares.
does feel.
I know. He
Yeah,
loves her.
I
Even though he hasn't
know.
said that, he basically says it.
I know. So cute. Aylin finally comes over and she's like, are you alive, Lorcan? And then she's like, I'm so sorry about your mom. Like the last thing she
Yeah.
said to me was, she loves you so much. Oh, I was so sad reading that. I'm like, Alide's probably like, oh, that's what I need to hear for all these years.
I know that like someone cared about her in the end and
Yeah.
someone still cares about her now. Like Aelin cares that Alide is here and alive.
Yeah. So cute. And like they're all fighting over her.
I
Manon's
know.
like, what if she wants to be a Blackbeak? And then she's like, Lorcan, you're dead last. Don't even speak up.
Oh, yeah.
Before even Aelin gets there to have this great moment together, the fucking cadre attacks Lorcan. Obviously, their blood oath to May says that as soon as they see them, they have to kill him. So they go after him in their animal forms, lion and wolf. And the only reason why they stop is because Alide gets involved and gets bit.
Yeah. And then Rowan puts a stop saying that she's under Aelin's protection.
Yeah.
So it holds the blood oath, I think, at bay a bit.
Yeah, but I feel like they even stopped before that because once
True.
Gabriel knew that she was hurt,
Well,
they were
Gabriel
like, drop the
stopped.
shield.
Fenris didn't.
Yeah, Fenris didn't, yeah. But I feel like he was trying to. He just literally couldn't control himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gabriel says like we're barely holding ourselves back because of the oath.
Yeah, and Rowan doing that doesn't end the blood oath or what Maeve is trying to do with them, but for the time being, it does put like a hold on it, so at least they can be in the same spot without trying to kill Lorcan.
Because Maeve doesn't want her cadre dead. She needs them. So if Alide and Lorcan are now under Aelin's protection and she'll kill them if they attack them, then they have to protect themselves. And I feel like that comes first.
Yeah, for sure. Thank God it comes first because who else knows what that fucking bitch
I have
that
to
we'll talk about later. But
yeah. I mean, I have to assume that's why, because they do stop.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. I would agree with that. Before he drops his shield too, this is where he says this cute little thing to Alide. He's like, I want to go to Pernath with you. Like, oh.
I know. That's like basically declaring his love.
Yeah, literally. They're just so cute. And I feel like they're both just like so.
They're both like outcasts.
Exactly. That's the word, outcast. I was going to say lonely, but they're not lonely. They're just like loners.
Yeah. And now they're loners together.
Yeah, they found each other.
He's like, I don't mind being around you. Does that count? And she's like, I guess.
Yeah. I can't. So Gabriel heals her. This is where Aelin shows up. They have this cute moment together. And there's like this kind of end of like scene part of the chapter where they're walking away, Adian and Aelin, and they like look back and they're like, come on, Alide. And she gets up and I'm like, oh, and she doesn't look back. I'm like, that's the cutest thing ever.
She's grown up.
Yeah, and she also notices too the sword that Adian has because her uncle told her it was destroyed. So this is where they're like, oh, it survived. They survived. Like they can do this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So good.
We got to bring us up before we crash down.
Yeah. Aelin, thanks, Lorcan.
Yep.
I can't think about the crash down yet. I got to get to there first.
We're almost there.
Megan. Yeah.
Megan.
And really the last thing about this chapter is that Rowan and Lorcan kind of talk after and they're like, you know, this power is really good, but it can also destroy her. And Rowan's like, I know. I think he can tell that she will do anything to save everyone from the Valg. So like she will lose herself. And I think he worries about her.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Because he can only help so much. Like she was literally draining him too.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously she wouldn't like hurt him, but she would fucking hurt herself for sure. to save
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah, she'll sacrifice herself.
Yeah. So Lorcan is keeping his mouth shut about what his mission is. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing in the stone marshes? Why is everyone here? You tell me that first.
Yeah.
And then Lorcan calls him a good dog, and he's like, you seem like you're on a leash too, but I ain't gonna say shit.
Bark, bark.
Yeah, literally. Great start to both Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna shut up for a little.
Yes, my chapter 58 does give you quite the reprieve. Fuck.
Thank God.
All right, Empire of Storms, chapter 58. Kaltain's sacrifice had just altered the course of the war, and in an uneasy calm that follows, Dorian hangs back and observes Aelin and her allies at a half-drowned temple complex. Aelin stands at the center of the group, flanked by Manon and Alide, while Lysandra prowls nearby in her snow leopard form. Aelin studies the altar with intense focus, treating it like an enemy rather than a relic. Manon reveals that Alide is being watched over by Anieth, the goddess, which deepens Dorian's growing belief that divine forces are quietly guiding all of them. To him, it feels as though the entire group is under the god's gaze. Dorian's attention turns to Lorcan, whom he senses as another powerful force, one touched by Hellas himself. Lorcan has traveled with Anieth, Hellas's consort, to find them, making him yet another piece in what feels like a divine pattern. Rowan, Adian, Gabriel, and Fenris all watched Lorcan closely, aware of the danger and power he represents. Dorian realizes that each of them has been influenced by a different god and guided them to this moment, then none of this can be a coincidence. Manon notices Dorian's troubled expression and asks what he's thinking, but before he can explain, Aelin calls Manon away. Rowan urges Aelin to stop exploring the ruins and instead move the chest they found back to the ship so they can examine it safely. Manon questions whether the lock was ever in the temple at all, prompting Dorian to climb to the altar and look inside the chest himself. Inside, they find only a mirror etched with the eye of Elena. Manon identifies it as a witch mirror and explains their terrifying capabilities. She recounts how Baba Yellowlegs met with the king at the carnival to demonstrate her mirrors, objects that can reveal the past, present, and future, allow communication between paired mirrors, and even amplify raw magical power into devastating weapons. Yellowlegs had intended to sell this magic as a tool of war. Manon further reveals that the witches have already begun constructing massive mobile towers lined with these mirrors. These towers can be dragged onto battlefields, and if used by Erewhon, could annihilate Aelin's armies within moments. At least 2 such towers have already been completed and are stationed in the Ferrying Gap, though Manon doesn't know how many more exist, how they are transported, or how many witches operate each one. The mirror in the temple, however, is not a weapon and not the lock, leaving its purpose unclear. The discovery leaves Aelin drained and disheartened. She is exhausted by the god's secrecy, by Elena and Brannon's unfinished war, and by the possibility that the lock may not even exist. Overwhelmed, she decides to put the questions aside until they can return to the ships and she can finally rest. They cross through the marsh and away from the temple. The group suddenly senses danger. Ahead of them, 100 gray sails stretch across the horizon. Melançon's fleet has surrounded their ships. On the beach below, 20 warriors stand waiting, led by a woman cloaked in gray. Lorcan immediately urges retreat into the marshes, convinced they are too depleted to fight, and attempts to take Alide with him. Aelin and Manon stop him, even as Alide quietly tells Manon that she chooses Lorcan. Manon cuts the moment short, saying they will discuss it later. Refusing to retreat, Aelin insists that they are not going to attack, and instead decides they should approach the waiting warriors. As the gray-cloaked woman steps forward and removes her hood, Aelin recognizes her immediately by her wine-red hair and the wolf's head pommel on her sword. The woman is revealed to be Ansel of Briarcliff, Queen of the Wastes.
Woo!
Ansel's first words are sharp, accusing Aelin of using her name in battle without permission. Aelin fires back just as viciously, reminding Ansel that she spared her life rather than killing her as a coward. Their reunion is laced with "hello, bitch" and "hello, traitor," and Aelin thought it was great she arrived just on time, looking at the armada before them.
Yay, Ansel's back.
Yes.
And all that stuff before.
And all that stuff before. Yes, since Amanda's favorite chapter in Assassin's Blade is The Assassin in the Desert.
I loved that one.
Yes. So, to go back before we can discuss Amanda's love of Ansel. Ansel. Just gonna
Angel.
bringing that back. Dorian's just kind of like hanging back when all of this is going down. So now that the threat of the Ilkin is over and the boys are done fighting, they finally get to go look at this chest that has word marks all over it, and they open it up, and inside of it is this witch mirror. So there's not even a lock inside, but on this mirror is the Eye of Elena. So it clearly means something, but we don't know what. And Aelin is kind of just sick of Elena and Brandon's bullshit because she's like, I came here for the lock. I get here, and this chest has a fucking witch mirror in it.
Yeah. Well, Elena did say, I don't know why they're saying anything about this lock.
That is true. We have to give Elena credit there because she's like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know anything about this before.
But obviously, yeah, I feel like she needs this mirror for some reason if Brandon was telling her to get it.
But Rowan's like, I don't think this is like the time or the place to be studying this witch's mirror out where we're so exposed. Like, let's bring this back to the ship and then we'll talk about it then or figure it out then.
Yeah.
But Dorian is like, we are all here led by a different god, which cannot be a coincidence, especially since Lorcan and Alide are the last to join their group, who their gods are consorts to each other, which just obviously makes my little heart happy because it just makes me feel like Lorcan and Alide forever. Even their gods are together.
I know, that's true.
Which I love. So before they head back to the ship, Manon tells them about what a witch mirror is and how it can show you past, present, future, which might come in handy when it comes to finding the lock or knowing what to do with the keys if it can show past, present, future.
Yeah, maybe it's a tool to find the lock. I don't know.
Maybe, but I think this put a perfect point in the story to inform Aelin and co about the witch towers.
Yeah.
Because now we're looking at a witch mirror. And Manon's like, oh, by the way, there's these towers that are going to annihilate you. So just thought I would tell you now that I am remembering.
Yeah, they are like lined with these mirrors.
Yes, with the raw power mirrors, not like this mirror that's in the box.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that just was like a perfect time to like bring up the witch towers again and remind us as readers, but also to inform Aelin and her little crew that these witch towers exist. But now this is like the Eye of Elena again on a witch's object, which is like just, I think, further confirming that it's a witch's symbol.
Yeah, for sure. And now Aelin knows that Manon is trustworthy because she told her the truth.
She did, yes.
Indeed.
So they're heading back to the ship with the chest. The boys are carrying the chest, and they halt suddenly when they get to the beach because they're like, fuck, there's this armada that's surrounding our ships. Like, is this Maeve? Is this Erewhon? Like, are we about to be under attack? Lorcan's like, we gotta go. Like, our power's depleted. Everyone's power is depleted from the fight and with the Ilkin and then afterwards with the boys. And he's like, I'm taking a ride and we're going. And Manon and Aelin are like, you're going nowhere. And Alide's like, but Manon, I love him. And she's like, shut up. We'll talk about this later. This is like obviously the worst decision you've ever made, Alide.
But Manon, I love him.
I was like that. But Daddy, I love him.
I can't.
But we do not have to worry because we are not under attack at the moment. We are here with a new ally. Ansel is back. So we don't have to worry because Ansel is here and she's here to be our ally.
Thank God. And she brought an armada.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Scheming. God,
if Kara was here, I'd be so happy. I'm like Aelin when she came back from one.
Where's our army, Aelin? You come back by yourself, you fucking useless bitch.
Yep. He'd be so happy. He would love Ansel.
Yeah.
Empire Storms Chapter 59. Aelin felt the shock ripple through her companions when Ansel arrived and announced, as you requested, your fleet. Before anyone could process the words, Manon cut in sharply, pointing out that Melisandre's fleet belonged to Marath, and that anyone working with it effectively sided with Erewhon. Ansel caught sight of Manon's iron nails and teeth, her face drained of color. Aelin remembered the story Ansel once told her, how an Iron Teeth witch had devoured her childhood friend and how Ansel herself survived after stumbling into a witch camp. Aelin quickly clarified that Ansel wasn't aligned with Melisande at all, but with the Wastes, who supported Terrasen. Manon snarled at that, demanding to know who Ansel thought she was to speak for the Wastes. Aelin introduced her formally. Ansel Briarcliff, assassin and queen of the Western Wastes. Manon nearly exploded with fury, ready to tear Ansel apart. As they rowed back to their ship, still with no signs of Abraxos, Manon insisted Ansel did not speak for the Wastes. Ansel snapped back, asking whether Manon did. Manon answered, yes, in fact, I do. And Rowan stiffened at her tone, recognizing the authority of the last Kraken queen. A fight between them seemed inevitable. Ansel defended herself, saying that she had cared for the people of the Waste for 2 years, while neither Iron Teeth nor Krakens had bothered. She turned to Aelin, reminding her that they were neighbors and that it would have been wrong not to help. When Adian demanded an explanation, Ansel revealed that months earlier she had received a message from Aelin, loud and clear, during the pit fighting spectacle in Rifthold. She had known then to mobilize her army. Half of her forces were already marching to join Terrasen. It was the greatest gift she could offer Selena Sardathian, the friend who had never forgotten where she came from, even when she was all the way out in the Red Desert. She had been en route when a second letter arrived, instructing her to meet Aelin at the Gulf of Oro. She brought half her army to Melisande, and the queen, believing they were reinforcements, let them in. With her forces spread thin, Melisande had no choice but to yield. Ansel's Astarian mare, Cassida, had even made a triumphant appearance. Now, Melisande's fleet and its capital belonged to Terrasen. Manon burst out laughing at the audacity of it. Aiden didn't know whether to be angrier at Aelin for keeping Ansel and the Armada a secret or at himself for not trusting her. Ansel vowed she would let nothing stand between her and the destruction of Marath. Melisande would learn the price of siding with Erewhon. Aedion warned that Melisande had likely already sent word to Marath and that its armies were racing home. He advised Ansel to get her troops across the Fang so that they could lead the Armada from there. Everyone agreed. Aelin told him to speak with Ansel again before she departed in the morning. Nearby, Lysandra noticed Alide sitting with Manon, deep in conversation about their adventures. Aedion told Lysandra they shouldn't linger. Lysandra confessed that when she'd first seen the fleet, believing it belonged to the enemy, she had wished she never met any of them. She didn't know how to separate her heart from the battlefield, how to face the possibility that not all of them would survive. Aedion listened carefully and told her that fear of loss could destroy them just as surely as loss itself. They had to cherish the time they had. Lysandra admitted she liked whatever was growing between them. Ooh, little flirting. When she began to shrink back into insecurity about her past, Aedion stopped her. He told her he had seen everything, been with men and women, and none of it changed how he saw her. They could start with honesty. Lysandra agreed. Aedion wanted to kiss her, to savor the ache of it, but chose instead to savor the moment they were in. For once, they were perfectly in sync, and he was grateful for it.
Kiss her already, you fucking idiot.
There is so much romance in this chapter between all of our little paired off lovebirds.
Everyone is paired off. We kept saying that, but it's true. Everyone is paired off.
Yeah, and they show it in this section.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we're going to go over here and you guys go over there and do whatever you want. And I'm going to do whatever I want. So basically everybody on the boat except for Aelin is jaw on the floor. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And Aelin's like, oh, love seeing the fucking look on their faces.
No, literally. She's just like, all right, give me the information. Like, I already know why you're here. Tell me, like, what actually happened.
Yeah. So, as Aelin has requested, Ansel is there with a fleet.
Mm-hmm.
She has stormed into Melisande, and luckily the queen was like, oh, great, reinforcements, and then they take them all out. So, that worked out in our favor. Mm-hmm. But she starts talking about how she's the queen of the Western Waste, and Manon's like, who's this Ansel girl?
Who the fuck do you think you are?
That belongs to the witches, but Ansel makes a good point. She's like, bitch, I've been here for 2 years taking care of these people. Where the hell have you been? Where have the Krakens been?
Yeah. Who the fuck are you?
Literally. Even Rowan at this point is like, damn, that's going to be a crazy fight one day.
Yeah.
Ansel starts telling the story about how this whole plan comes about. She knew the message was loud and clear from Aelin when she was in Rifthold pretending to be her, Pitting. in the pit fights.
Yeah.
We knew she was scheming and plotting, but to even go, like, what book was that? Arabin was alive, so it was what? Air of Fire? When did he die?
It was the last book.
Queen of Shadows?
Yeah, so Queen of Shadows is when he dies.
Okay.
So it was
But
last.
still, like a whole book ago, and we're still like, oh,
Well,
yeah, that's
literally,
why.
you have to remember literally everything.
Literally. Everything is a fucking clue.
Yes.
Everything. It's crazy. We should have even seen her Asterian mare coming because fucking Kale mentions his. Like, there's even foreshadowing about the fucking horse. Like,
in
it's
Tower of
crazy.
Dawn. Like, not even in Empire Storms. Like, literally, that's why it's so important to do the tandem read.
Yes, that's a good point. I didn't even realize that for a second. That it was 2 different books. Yeah. Wow. Whoever figured out this tandem read.
Also, Sarah J. Maas for like having it flow so perfectly like that is insane.
I know. Talent. Flowers. Give the flowers. Gotta give the flowers. Adian wants to smack himself in the face. He's pissed at Aelin for keeping it a secret, but also he's pissed for not trusting her. And this is why he was lashing out on her earlier. Because he had no idea what was going on. I think his anxiety was getting his little panties in a bunch. But
he's a little
now
bitch.
He's like, fuck, when am I going to learn? She always has a plan, and then a plan, and then a plan, and then a plan on top of that. And you might think you know the plan, but you probably don't. And you should just go with the flow and shut up.
Yeah.
One day he'll get it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We get this, which I also think is a little bit of foreshadowing, which I'm going to brightly brush on it because I don't want to get too into it.
Okay.
But Lysandra being all freaked out about this army and thinking like not all of them are going to make it. I'm like, no, this is foreshadowing. This is preparing us. Like, Lysandra doesn't even know it, but she's preparing us.
Right.
For someone to be gone and lost. I don't know who, but this is foreshadowing for sure. And that's all I'm going to say for now on that. And then we get this little flirty moment, which Adian is into men and women. I'm like, okay, Adian.
I know. I feel like, is that new news? I don't know.
I think so. I don't remember that.
I know.
Because obviously Lysandra's so insecure about her past and like what happened to her. Not that any of it is her fault, but of course she feels guilty and ashamed. And Adian's like, oh, shut up with that. He's like, I've seen it all. Men, women, everything in between.
Who cares if you were a whore? You're not a whore anymore.
He was like, I was a whore too.
Yeah. For my own free will. Yeah.
Yeah, so he wants to kiss her so badly here, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to savor this moment. I'm going to take my time because it's going to be so good when he finally gets it. And he's grateful for it right now. He's like, I'm going to savor this moment. You hate Adian.
Yeah.
I love Adian when it's with Lysandra, though. I do. I can't say no. I love love.
She deserves better.
I think she'll make him into a better man. Sometimes men need that. A good woman to make them a better man.
Maybe.
And not his crazy cousin giving him fucking anxiety.
Yeah.
Fuck Adian.
Yeah.
Next chapter.
Tower of Dawn, chapter 44. The desert heat was relentless, but the oasis where the group stops is cool and shaded with a large, shallow pool at its center. Despite Nusha's earlier warnings, Irene sees no sign of the caves she mentioned, nor of the so-called City of the Dead that Hazar claimed was hidden somewhere in the jungle. The camp is carefully arranged, with each prince and princess assigned to a tent marked with their name. Since Sartok and Duva are absent, Kale and Irene are given their tents instead. After examining Kale and giving him a brief massage, Irene openly announces that she has no interest in swimming. Instead, she asks Kale if he would like to take a short walk through the jungle, and he agrees. As they walk, Kale opens up about his childhood, the hot springs near where he grew up, and his early training, first at home and then later in Rifthold. This leads him to speak about the men he served with as a guard, emphasizing that not all of them were cruel or corrupt. He recalls how those men were tortured for information about him and never broke under the pain. The memory overwhelms him and he shuts down emotionally, pushing Irene away. He isn't ready to talk about it, especially not on her birthday.
Yeah.
While wandering deeper into the jungle, they unexpectedly discover the City of the Dead. Irene recalls Hazar's explanation that the tunnels were designed to keep out looters or to keep the dead contained. She reasons that Nusha must have meant something else when she mentioned caves, since she likely would have referenced the tunnels and the city if they were connected. As they explore, they examine the carved columns which depict two opposing forces, the Fae and the Valg. Then they find what appears to be a mausoleum, but it quickly becomes clear that this is not a burial site for humans, it is a burial ground for the Fae. This
Mm.
discovery points to the First War, the original Demon War, long before Elena and Gavin were born and before Terrasen even existed. The pair realized that Fey magic is passed through the bloodlines, and those who built this place intentionally chose a location far enough removed to be forgotten by both good and evil. If something precious needed to be hidden, concealing it in plain sight, somewhere that multiple empires would be compelled to protect, would be the perfect solution. Irene reminds Kale that healers do not kill, but there is one other place in the world heavily guarded specifically for its healers, Doranel. This leads them to question Kale's mission. While he was sent to Antica to secure an army, perhaps he was also meant to retrieve something else entirely. They do not know yet what the healers are capable of when it comes to combating with the Valg, but it could explain why the enemy was hunting Irene and the ancient scrolls. Irene decides she must show the scrolls to Hafiza to see if the woman understands their true meaning. They agree to leave at first light. Kale plans to send word to Nezran asking her to return, and they prepare to make one final attempt to convince the Kogan to send aid. Kale is resolute. He has no intention of losing the war. That evening, Irene's birthday dinner is filled with political maneuvering and discussions of the looming conflict. Hazar jokingly suggests that Aelin marry one of her brothers as a condition for joining the war. Kale immediately shuts the idea down and recounts the story of Aelin and Rowan. Undeterred, Hazar then proposes that Kale grant Irene a royal title so that she could marry Cashin instead. Kale firmly declares that Irene would not be marrying Cashin, and the tension at the table rises sharply. Irene
Mm-hmm.
ultimately puts an end to the argument by pointedly asking why she should choose one man tonight when she could have so many, silencing the table. Hazar continues to provoke Kale, and the evening devolves into drunken chaos, culminating in a very drunk Irene shoving Hazar straight into the pool. As
Mm-hmm.
she deserved.
Yep, she did. She's like, don't talk about my man like that.
But the only thing I really want to talk about in this long chapter is the discovery of the city of the dead in the
Yeah.
jungle.
Yeah.
This is the most important part.
Mm.
So they find these carvings of a battle, and when they're looking at it, they realize that it's not human versus Valg, it is Fae versus Valg, and they've discovered the first site of the first war, the first demon war. And Kale's like, Fae magic are passed down through bloodlines. And there's a whole tower that was built for healers in on this continent. And if you wanted to hide something precious, you should hide it in plain sight so that multiple empires would come to protect it, just like their healers are heavily protected as well. Like the Tor's doors have not been breached. Like this
Yeah.
is a very secure place. And so this magic, diluted over the years and years and years, obviously cannot be proven, but it is a really good theory because we
Yeah.
don't know how healers will come into play when it comes to the Valg. Clearly, Irene has been able to heal Kale's injury with the Valg power that was stuck in his back and
Yeah.
get it out. And the Valg are trying to attack Irene, who is figuring all of this out on how to heal Kale and to take these scrolls. So it has to mean something.
Yeah. It's for sure a defense against them that is more than just cutting their heads off.
Right. There has to be
It's like
something with
healing
the
their souls
healers.
almost.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
bringing light. It's like they
Into
are the
them. Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
It's not fire. I mean, they're scared of fire, which is why Aelin is so scary. But I feel like these healers and this magic that the healers possess are pure light.
Yeah.
And that is going to break through all this darkness that the Valg have inside of them.
Yeah.
So,
Irene's
yeah.
going to be huge in this war.
Yeah, so Kale's like, maybe I wasn't sent here, as we can see from these other chapters, even in Empire Storms, how each of them are guided by a different god and being guided in specific directions to bring them all together and bring them to where they need to be for this war. So Kale's like, maybe I wasn't just sent here to get an army. Maybe I was sent here to get the healers
Yeah.
and find out what they can do against the Valg.
Yeah. Yeah, Kale.
So now they're going to leave this birthday party, lame anyways,
Yeah.
and they're going to go talk to the healer on high to see if she can read any of these scrolls, because Irene's like, she's basically a walking library herself, and see what they can find out before they head back to the northern continent, because
It's almost the end of the book.
it's almost the end of the book and we got to get to the war.
Yeah.
They're running out of time.
Wow. Imagine after everything, the healer just has to touch the valve and then just like heal. Wild.
I mean, she might, I don't know. We'll have to see.
No, obviously it's like a huge thing because she's even battling the little bit in Kale. So
yeah, or like if she can't, fully battle Valg, she can definitely reverse the damages that they cause.
Yeah.
Which is helpful.
Yeah.
And then we have some just political nonsense at the end that I didn't give a shit about. And then I also would have pushed Hazar in the pool.
Yeah. I love that she had to get drunk to do it, but liquid courage.
You can't talk about her man like that. Hell no.
Nope, you can't. She ain't married no one.
Yeah.
Except for Kale.
Yeah.
One day, maybe. Tower of Dawn, chapter 45. Irene was drowning in regret the moment the outburst left her mouth, and Kale instinctively stepped in front of her, shielding her from the stunned silence that followed. The tension broke only when Rania burst into laughter with Cashin quickly joining her. Even Hazar, sharp-tongued and notoriously unforgiving, remarked that she'd been waiting for Irene to fully grow a backbone. Mortified, Irene declared it was time for bed, grateful that the laughter felt like an unexpected birthday gift, and even more grateful that she still had her head attached to her shoulders. As she and Kale slipped into the tent, she muttered that this was exactly why she shouldn't marry a prince. She knew it had been reckless, and Kale agreed, but neither of them regretted it. Kale admitted the moment would stay with him forever, and he was relieved to see Irene's fire aimed at someone else other than him for once. Their conversation drifted to Aelin and Rowan's marriage, and Kale explained his past with Aelin, how both of them had always known he would never leave a Darlin or Dorian. Whatever feelings he once had for Aelin or Nezran were long gone, and both he and Irene were quietly thrilled by that truth.
Mm-hmm.
Kale then surprised her with a birthday gift, a locket. He noticed she always carried something in her pocket from dress to dress and had guessed the size. Irene was stunned. It was the first birthday present she received since she was 11. Emotion quickly turned into heat, and one kiss became many. Things escalated fast, hands everywhere, breathless urgency replacing hesitation. Kale paused only long enough to ask permission before slipping into her. Intending to take his time until Irene demanded otherwise. He did not need to be told twice. In that tent, in a foreign land, far from everything he once knew, Kale realized something simple and absolute. With Irene, he was home.
Oh,
you got. I love how he's like, "I'm gonna take my time." She's like, "Get you in me."
You took
She's like, "Hurry up! You can do that later." He's like, "Say less."
You literally added so much detail. I think for Manon and Dorian, I was like, they banged.
Well, I feel like this was like a very intimate moment also between them.
Yeah, Manon and Dorian's was just like a stress relief.
Also Dorian's like this like sly, sexy, saying these slick moves. You know what I mean? Like he's like, He has to be like dark because Manon's like a fucking witch. She's like a bad bitch. Where Irene is like, oh. So Kale's like, oh, have you ever done this before? Is it okay? And she's like, get in here. She's like, please, hurry up.
I'm dead.
But yeah, he feels like home with Irene. It's so cute. Before that, though, we have a whole chapter before this. So Irene immediately regrets what she does by pushing Hazar. Obviously, she's mortified. She's a good person. But they break the tension. They start laughing. Even Hazar is like, oh, I'm glad you finally grew a pair.
Yeah.
So Irene's like, okay, time for bed. Thank you. I'm glad I can keep my head, so I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And this is where they go to the tent. And she's like, this is exactly why I shouldn't marry a prince. And Kale's like, this is exactly why you should.
This is exactly why you should marry me.
Yeah. And they knew it was a reckless thing, but whatever. She didn't regret it. And Kale was like, well, I'll never forget it. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here with a birthday gift for his gal. a fucking
Mm,
locket. And
so
I love it.
cute.
I love
It's so
learning about
thoughtful.
what she has in her pocket. I love learning about the connection,
Mhm.
but we'll talk about it when we get there. For
Okay.
now, he literally picks out this lockets by size because of his estimation of him observing her look at this for so long. Like, he knows it's in her pocket. He knows she moves it from dress to dress.
Mhm.
And he's like, this shall be perfect for whatever she's holding in her hand. Her dainty little hand.
And I love how he, like, doesn't, like, press her on it, but, like, he
I
knows, like, how
know.
important it is to her.
Yeah, like he's not like, I want to know, like, what is it? What is it? He's like, whatever it is, it's important to you. And I want you to always have a safe place for it.
Hmm.
So cute. He doesn't even know it was Selena that wrote that note to her, but
Nope.
we shall talk about that later. And
Yes.
then we get a little smutty smut. Classy smut, actually.
This is classy
not,
smut.
not smutty smut.
All right. Tower of Dawn, chapter 46. Irene felt that her night with Kale had shattered her and remade her all at once. Hours
Woo!
later, she lay with her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, unable to find the words for what passed between them, not just for the joining itself or the many times they came together, but the deep
Ooh.
sense of belonging she felt with him. Kale was a generous and attentive lover, awakening feelings in her she had never known before. It wasn't only the safety, joy, and comfort he gave her, it was the certainty that he would never falter or break no matter what came.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Irene finally told Kale the truth about how she made it to Antigua, that she hadn't done it alone. She had been stranded in Inish, cleaning late one night when mercenaries cornered her in an alley. A stranger, a woman passing through town and seemingly looking for a fight, intervened and murdered them.
And murdered them.
She then taught Irene how to defend herself. Irene healed the woman's wounds afterward, and when she returned to her room, she found a pouch of gold and a note that read, "For wherever you need to go, and then some, the world needs more healers." That note was what Irene had carried in her pocket all those years and now kept inside the locket. Deeply moved, Kale said he would be forever grateful to that unknown woman. Then he kissed Irene again.
Wild. We know who the woman is.
I thought when he, like, tensed up, like, that he knew who it was,
Yeah.
but
I
it
feel
was
like
just
he knows.
because Irene was under attack, and he obviously, like, didn't like that story if someone was gonna hurt her, but
Yeah.
I
Well, he
was like,
also doesn't know
"Figure it
what
out!"
I feel like he doesn't know what Aelin did even before. He obviously knew she was an assassin, but he's not thinking that she's training women
Yeah,
being
because
an
he's
assassin.
Kale.
Yeah, of
Obviously,
course.
this is such an Aelin Selena move to do this.
Yeah.
He should know that.
I know he
But
should, but he's Kale
yeah.
at the end of the day.
But I love that he told her, in, like, the last chapter that I did, more about his past and his time
Mhm.
with the guards, and then here she tells him her story finally of how she made it to Antigua to become
Yeah.
a healer at the tour, and I just love the reminder for the "forever you need to go and then some, the world needs more healers," and just, like, how even before we knew this war was coming into play, Selena was setting these players, a late whatever, Aelin, Selena, both of them were
Yeah.
setting these players into motion that will become
Yeah.
such a huge part of this war.
The world needs more healers. I feel like we need healers to beat the Valg now.
Mhm.
I'm convinced after this section.
Yep. Yay.
Yay! Okay. Tower of Dawn, chapter 47. Nesrin and Sartok pushed desperately through the twisting stone passages, searching for any upward path where Kadara might reach them. Nesrin kept Falcon hidden in her pocket. He was their only secret advantage, and revealing him to the spiders would doom them all. They had to survive long enough for the Erdin Rucken to arrive, but the tunnels narrowed, and Sartok became wedged behind her, tearing open fresh wounds as he tried to force his way through. Nesrin begged him to stop and retreat before he hurt himself further. Then came the clicking.
Ugh.
Dozens of legs tapping against stone, far too many to count. A female spider's voice echoed through the dark, mocking them, calling Sartok a fine morsel, too large to fit through a passage and promising a feast. Sartok ordered Nesrin to run. The spider taunted them as a pretty pair, and Nesrin pleaded for mercy, but Sartok's expression went eerily calm. He told her he had heard the spy's stories about her and had loved her long before he had ever saw her. He wished they had more time, right before a spider ripped him from her grasp and dragged him away. Blinded by tears, Nezrin fled. She had to escape, had to find help, though guilt tore at her. She felt she had doomed him by leaving. But then she remembered the spider's words, take you both back to our home. That meant Sartok was still alive. Clinging to that hope, she whispered a plan to Falcon. When she stepped into the open chamber, the spiders erupted in delighted hissing. They mocked her for being too little sport, but promised to enjoy her later. Nezrin begged, stalling for time, until one spider shot a strand of silk and wrapped her tightly, binding her for whatever horrors awaited in the dark.
That's literally horrifying.
Horrifying. I fucking hate spiders. We all
Same.
know how dramatic I am when it comes to spiders.
She found another one today.
I
Or was that
did.
last night?
No, it was today.
Oh my God, time is just
I know. That was today. But it was a little baby one compared. If I never had a battle that Valg red spider, I would have fucking been scared though. So I guess everything.
Remember that one
happens for
time
a
we were
reason.
sitting on your couch and I saw a spider and then we vacuumed like everything on the couch and we just think Jackson ate it.
Yeah.
That was
It was
also
gone.
horrifying.
I
One
hate
time I
that.
was in the shower and one came like crawling down and I
No.
drowned it.
Good.
And I
Fuck
was
that
so
spider.
scared. So every time I'm in the shower, this was literally like 15 years ago. But now every time I'm in the shower and I see like, I don't know, like something out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, it's a spider.
Dude, I'm literally every time I grab for the treat jar, I look for the fucking red spider because I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I hate spiders. So Nezrin got balls here for sure.
The clicking, that's what gets me. Like,
I know.
just imagining,
Like hearing it, and it's like smooth stone, like obviously so that their prey can't like escape, so they can't even climb. So like just hearing like this like almost marble stone like smooth, and it's just like I'm gonna get you. Oh, I hate it.
I get like those full chills.
Yeah. So we do know that they have this plan with the Ruckin that if they don't return in 4 days, like the army's gonna come. So Nezrin's just trying to buy time here. She knows that Sartok is hurt, so they're trying to just get upward. They're trying to find Kadara. The spider fucking finds them when he gets wedged between two rocks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't get through the path. It's too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
The spiders catch up and she's begging for them to leave them alone. But obviously Sartok knows what's going to happen. He stays calm and he's like, you know what, Nezrin, I loved you before I even met you. You're amazing, and I wish we had more time. Like, oh,
that's heartbreaking.
And then the spiders fucking rips him out of the hole and takes him back to her home. So obviously he tells Nezrin to run. So she does. She's just like fucking mortified. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. So she just runs thinking like I have to find help somehow.
Yeah.
And then she's like, fuck, I shouldn't have left him. Like they're going to eat him. Like that was so stupid. She's regretting her decision. And then she's like thinking about what the spider says, saying like, oh, I'll take you both back to our home.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take us back to your home. So they're not going to kill him right away. So she's like, I have a chance to save him.
Yeah.
And she whispers her little plan to Falcon, which we don't know until another chapter. She runs into this chamber where all these spiders are, and they're like, oh, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
They're like, ha, 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 ha. They're like, you might not be little sport, but you will be a treat for later.
Yes.
And they fucking shoot their strand of silk and wrap up Nezrin. Save it for later. Little snack.
So yucky.
Also, though, I vaguely remember them talking about the silk, and it's not the same silk as the one in the north.
Right.
Right? Like it's way more valuable up there, and that's why they trade and whatever. I don't know when that was. Was it my chapter or was it later that they talk about that?
Yeah. No, it's in my chapter, I think.
Oh, okay.
But it is interesting. I guess we can talk about it after I read my summary. But
yeah,
it is interesting why it's not the same.
Yeah.
When they're the same kind of spider. They just, I don't know.
Unless they came, we know they came from different rips, I guess, because the ones in the north didn't come from the same place. Otherwise, how the fuck would they get all the way to the north? Or at least I assume they didn't make it to the north somehow.
Yeah. We don't know, I guess, how they got over there. I guess it could have been through a different gate, but
I assumed it was, yeah.
Yeah. But
maybe they're not Valg over there. No, they have to be.
I think they're the same kind of spider.
Yeah.
I think maybe they just create more. Like maybe there's like a certain process that they do to create, and that's why it takes them so long. Like it has to be more than just shooting like the webs out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it
I'll have
after.
I'll have to look into that after.
Yeah. Poor Nezrin in a cocoon of silk.
Gross. All right. Tower of Dawn, chapter 48. Nezrin awakens, bound in spider silk, nearly screaming until she realizes Falcon is biting at the strands to free her. She's like, near her. She's like, what the fuck?
She's like, more clicking.
Yeah. They are hidden within a covered section of the mountain pass, and nearby she sees that Sartok is also bound but still alive. As Falcon works quickly to release her, Nezra notices their surroundings are unlike anywhere else in the pass. The stone is smooth and polished, etched with ancient primitive carvings. When Nezrin tries to wake Sartok, she stops Falcon from freeing her further after hearing a disturbing clicking sound. A massive spider, larger than the others, emerges and speaks to her. The spider confirms that Nezrin's group has been exploring the forgotten places and demands to know their purpose. Nezrin explains that they were hired by a merchant who once traded with the spider's kin in the north for silk. The spider scoffs, saying that those creatures are not their sisters, but fools for trading with mortals when they should be devouring them. The spider reveals that there is no spider silk here, only predators who delight in feeding on the dreams and years before consuming their prey. Nezrin fears they may have already done this to Sartok, explaining his stillness. The spider tells them that they are waiting. She gestures to an archway carved with the image of a gate, and a cloaked figure stands within it. When Nezrin asks if they are waiting for Erewhon, the spider spits in disgust and says, never him. Instead, she reveals they await the Queen of the Valg, who in this world calls herself Maeve. Oh, Amanda was right.
That was fucking right.
I had to keep all of that to myself to not tell her she
You
was
did
right
a great job.
or make you think that you were right.
You did a great job. You did.
I thought though, so for some reason, I literally thought that this was the last line of the book for some reason,
Yeah.
which makes absolutely no sense because how could this be the last line of the book? Maybe there is more talk of it at the end, and like that's
Yeah.
why like I thought it was, because Amanda texts me and she goes, Maeve is the queen of the Valg. And I call her like immediately when I see it. I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Who spoiled it for you? Because I hadn't done this chapter yet. And you're like, Megan, it's literally in this section. I'm like, oh.
I'm like, I just read it.
I was so mad because I thought someone ruined it for her. I get so defensive
nice of you.
over keeping spoilers away from you.
You do.
I literally
I'm
have
glad because I hate spoilers.
I have saved videos that like I want to share with you that I can send at certain times.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I want to see them all.
There was one the other day that I really wanted to send, and I'm like, fuck, I can't, because like you could read part of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to wait 4 more months until I can send it to you.
4 more months. It feels so far away, and then pretty soon I'm gonna be like, and that's the end of Kingdom of Ash.
I know, like I feel like not like we just started this tandem read, but kind of.
I know. It felt like super long, but also at the same time, every week I was like, how are we already here? How are we already here?
Yeah. I think I get that with every book. Like once we get towards the end, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I'm like,
but the second week of every book, I'm like,
were we
fuck.
awake? Were we awake for 10 weeks? I don't know. We might have been dreaming.
Yes. But basically, I guess that's like the biggest revelation of this chapters. Nezrin wakes up. They're wrapped in spider silk. Everyone's still alive. Falcon is trying to get them out. But this huge spider comes in, their leader, and she's like, we're here waiting. We're not like our sisters in the north or our kin in the north. They're not sisters.
Yeah.
Who are training with mortals and scoffing at that. Like, ugh, they're disgusting. We should be eating you, not trading with you. And she's like, we wait for our queen. And well, I guess she doesn't say that right away. She points to a carving on the wall that shows the gate where the word gate. The word gate. And there's a cloaked figure in there. And Nezrin's like, Erewhon? And she's like, never him. We wait.
She's like, not that rubbish.
Yeah, we wait for the queen of the Valg.
Oh, shit.
Which is
I was right. I was right. I was right.
Yep, you were right.
Wow.
But before we get into any explanation of that, we got to go to Empire Storms chapter 60, which
Indeed.
I believe is the last. Nope, not the last Empire Storms.
I was
You
gonna say, I
have
think
that.
I have the last one.
Yep.
61, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Here we go. Empire Storms, Chapter 60. On the eve of their departure, Aelin and Ansel, remember I made you just say her name for me that whole
Yeah.
episode? I should make you do it again. I'm just kidding. Aelin and Ansel share a drink, clinking glasses as they prepare to sail north to Terrasen at first light. Aelin jokes that if she told Adian and Rowan her plan in advance, it would ruin the fun. Ansel confirms that there were no Valk and Melisande. Her loyalty to Erewhon had spared her and her soldiers from his horrors. However, once this war ends, Melisande will no longer have the excuse of being enthralled. Whatever her armies have done will stand by as human choices, or will stand as human choices. Aelin admits she needs more men and cannot be everywhere at once. She asks Ansel to search for the lost Kraken witches, offering them a place to share the wastelands, an idea that deeply offends Manon. Aelin adds that if the Iron Teeth prove better than their matrons, they too could claim land. Manon insists the Krakens are extinct, hunted down by the Iron Teeth, and rejects the notion that she is their queen any more than Aelin is. Still, Aelin orders that anyone they find be sent north. Ansel also reveals she once tried to reach Aelin at Endovir while Ansel was still fighting her way back to her crown, but turned back around hearing, oh my god, but turned back upon hearing Dorian already had Aelin. She thanks Aelin for giving her the extra minute that allowed her to escape the Red Desert. Ansel brings troubling news as well. The fires in Eelway were not set by Erewhon. Reports indicate Fae soldiers ignited them from ships, Maeve's doing. Though Gabriel notes such destruction is not in Maeve's usual style, they believe Maeve is deliberately framing Aelin, trying to paint her as a tyrant rather than a savior, someone to rally against instead of someone to ally with. With Maeve's whereabouts unknown, they decide to stick to their plan and depart at dawn. Rowan sees Aelin's long game finally coming together, though Aelin reiterates she still needs more forces and will not remain behind enemy lines. When Rowan asks if she intends to rule the continent after the war, Aelin says no. For now, she will be the Queen of Terrasen. Rowan knows that she is not a conqueror, but a unifier. He realizes her plotting began back in Rifthold, and though he sometimes wishes he could read her mind, he knows the mystery and the danger has always been a part of her, and he loves it. Later, Aelin squeezes Rowan's hand and tells him she needs him to do something for her. Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun!
dun, dun.
Elsewhere, Manon lies awake, refusing to search for the Krakens no matter what Aelin demands, acknowledging a different bloodline is far different from claiming it. She worries about Abraxos still missing, and Dorian enters her room, locking the door and pulling her from her thoughts, and they spend some sexy time together.
Indeed.
For the first time, Manon has allowed herself to be dominated and wants it again.
Oh,
She
shit.
knows she must soon leave, though she doesn't know where she will go next. Alide is safe with Aelin, and she does not even know if the 13 are still live.
Oh, no. I think they are still alive.
Meanwhile, Alide and Lorcan lie awake in hammocks, restless as if waiting for something inevitable. Lorcan holds her hand and asks if she truly chooses this life. Alide answers that it should be obvious. Lorcan begins to confess something important, but before he can finish, the watch cries out in alarm, and Amara is approaching. Maeve has arrived.
Wild.
Dumb bitch at the end of every one of my chapters.
Literally. She's haunting you.
Yes.
Does she think you're Aelin?
This was a long ass chapter. It could have been multiple chapters.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, like, Ansel's just catching us up on more things that are happening, which is that Maeve is basically responsible for the fires in Eelway, pitting this on Aelin. Rowan
Which is kind of
sees,
smart.
yeah, it is smart. Rowan sees Aelin's master plan coming in, and she makes a request that we don't know the answer to yet.
Indeed.
And Manon and Dorian have a sexy time together. They're so like raw with each other. Like
Yeah.
he's being, I think, who he truly wants to be in himself. Like,
But
he
like
doesn't.
the confidence,
Yeah. Like, I think
it's hot.
she gives him confidence, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I've wanted you, like, since the moment I saw you," and he wasn't even fully himself.
Yeah.
And I think, like, he always wants to act like that, but I feel like he feels that he needs to put on this mask, this king appropriate mask in front of everyone else. But in front of Manon, he doesn't feel the need to be anything but his true self. And
Yeah.
Manon softens around Dorian, letting him do things she would never allow another
I
man to
know.
do. She let him be on top of her, which she never would have allowed before.
I
And
know.
she liked it.
He did.
And I mean, he's
Funny.
just hot. Like, Dorian dominating and like that confidence in him is like so hot.
So hot. Because we
I
don't really see it anywhere else. Like he's not confident about
He's never been
fucking
like this with
Riptold
anyone else.
being the king, being with Aelin. I'm like, bro,
He
now
was
we see the
always
real side of
so
him.
he was always just so sweet and caring, and
Yeah.
he still
But
is.
also kind of like out of the loop,
Right.
like blissfully ignorant.
And he kind of still stays that way.
Yeah.
Like, Manon even says, like, before they have sex, she's like, "Why not you?
Yeah.
Why?"
He's never in control except for
Yeah.
when he's dominating Manon.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, fire and the darkness makes for a better story." But
Mm,
I don't know, like, why not Dorian? I think he still is recovering from his trauma, and I think this
yeah.
confidence that Manon gives him is gonna help him come into his own in this war.
I think also he compares himself to Aelin, and like obviously she has way more power and skill from being an assassin. Like having to survive is different than being like chilling in a castle for your whole life. You know what I mean? Not that he was chilling, but like, he never feared for his life. He was the crown prince.
I think we'll see Dorian continue to come into his own as this war progresses, as he
I agree.
controls his power more and gets a handle on it better and knows what it can do exactly. Because he never got to practice. He basically found out he had magic and then he was collared. And
Yeah.
so he's still now figuring out himself now that the collar is off, and also now he gets to practice his magic, but also doesn't really have time to practice. It's like trial by error or by fire, because when he's using it, it's sometimes like for the first time, like going up against an enemy.
Yeah. Interessante.
But Maeve is here, that dumb bitch.
Maeve is here with her armada.
And what does she want? A
Oh,
battle?
darling.
What
We're
does
about to
she want?
find out in the last chapter of the episode in Empire of Storms. Not in the whole episode, but just in Empire of Storms.
Yes.
Chapter 61. Every path Adian and Rowan charted led to the same grim truth. There was no avoiding Maeve's armada. They would have to face her. Maeve made the first move, sending a lone rowboat with a message. Aelin had until dawn to surrender or be dragged to the bottom of the sea. That left an entire day for dread to fester among their men. Aelin had no plan. The cadre hadn't been summoned by their queen. Lorcan paced like a caged animal while Allied watched him anxiously. Dorian stayed silent as his gaze flicked between Aelin and Manon, and Adian pushed for an attack. Rowan tried, weakly, to suggest Aelin flee, but she kept staring at the endless line of black sails and found no answer. Rowan knew Maeve would accept Aelin's surrender publicly, theatrically, and then who knew what she would do? All Maeve wanted were the keys, and Rowan had no illusions about what she'd do to get them. He had seen Aelin furious, grieving, triumphant, but never like this, never so still, never so lost. He kissed her brow, silently promising that this would not be the end, that he would not let Maeve be the thing that broke them. It was all he could give her. Then he left, closing the door behind him, shifting into his hawk form and flying straight into the heart of Maeve's fleet. To his surprise, his cousin, Enda, didn't strike him down on sight. They exchanged a few brief words. Rowan, noting how different Enda looked, learning he had finally married his mate, a lord's son. Enda had waited a century for that love, and Rowan understood that kind of devotion intimately. When Rowan laid out his plea and his plan, Enda didn't refuse. He simply said he would consider it. Rowan flew from ship to ship, cousin to cousin, repeating the same desperate request, and every one of them gave the same answer. They would consider it. Doing whatever he can to work in their favor. He obviously is scared shit. Like, him and Adian come to the same conclusion. There's no avoiding Maeve. They have to face her. The confrontation is happening. And Maeve makes the first move, sends a rowboat, and she's like, you have until dawn to surrender, or you die, or you'll be murdered, dragged to the bottom of the ocean.
It's like so crazy that I just remember like from I guess really the beginning of this section where we started the chapters to the
Yeah.
end of both books, I did not stop reading. Like I read all the way through because I'm like the end of Empire Storms is so fucking crazy.
I know. I'm already like, fuck, this is the last chapter. Like, that's it.
That's it. That's
Until next
next
week.
week.
Like,
And we finish Empire of Storms next week.
yeah. That means it's going to be nuts,
and
dude.
then we have 1 week of just Tower of Dawn to finish it up. But
wow.
Shoot.
Crazy, dude.
I'm like literally just like, for you.
I'm most nervous because of Rowan's reaction. This whole chapter is obviously Rowan reacting to Aelin, like saying she's lost. She's never seen her like this. He's seen her with every emotion, every win, every loss, and he's never seen her like literally she has no plan. Mm-hmm. She always has plan A, plan B, plan C, and she has no fucking idea what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And she's devastated. She's like, all my people are here. Like, they are going to pay for me because I'm here. She wants me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like
not only does she want Aelin, she wants the word keys.
True. Which means everybody loses if she gets them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rowan does his last duty before dawn, shifts into a bird.
His hawk.
And flies. He calls them his cousins. Do you think they're actually his cousins?
Yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
At first, his cousin, well, we know he flies to like all his cousins, but we meet the first cousin, Enda, and he's like, oh, Rowan, hey, are you a message or are you a threat? And he's like, well, we got to talk. He asks them, obviously, a desperate request to save them all. And they're all like, oh, we'll consider it. So hopefully they pull fucking through.
I mean, it wasn't a no. Well, it wasn't a no.
It wasn't a no, yeah. And I feel like they maybe can't say yes. Maybe they're like blood oathed to not say yes. I don't know. Or maybe Maeve is fucking creepy listening to everything that goes on. Who knows? But I feel like they will come in handy. Maybe not as handy as we need for the end of this book. Just because it's the end. I know it's going to be fucking nuts, but...
It's just actually crazy, like, how this book ends and then how much is in Kingdom of Ash to, like, wrap up everything is, like, actually mind-boggling when I think about all the things that have to happen until we get to the end.
I know. And we only have one book left. That's what's wild to me. Once we finish this, there's only one of 8 books left. It's just as long as these 2 books combined, but still.
Will this be your first, like, completed series?
I think so.
It's
unless I finish Vampire Diaries first.
Yeah. It is like
or Harry Potter.
A really weird feeling when it's the end.
I know. I don't know. I don't think I ever have. Because every book I've read, I guess The Veiled Kingdom might be. Because that's like a 3-book.
Yeah. But I think like to this magnitude, like it's 8 books. There's a tandem read.
Yeah.
Like it's so much information. So that like when it's over, like I just remember feeling so empty.
Oh my God.
Like sad that my friends were gone.
I know.
I saw this like quote the other day and it was like, my bookshelf is filled with so many people I've loved and like never met. And it's just like so crazy.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cute. You know, Megan, we can always reread.
I mean,
go on forever.
Yes. I mean, this is my reread of Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
And it took me I did it years later, so it is nice to come back to. I think you need some time in between.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's so crazy, like the emotions I see, even just like watching a video, like sometimes that will pop up and I will cry.
That's like, crazy.
And it's so crazy how like this story can have such an impact on you.
I know.
I think especially with everything going on in the world and just I don't know. Like
it's relatable.
It's relatable and just like I don't know, just everything they go
gives
through.
Us hope. Yeah.
Yeah. It gives you hope. Exactly.
Yeah. Love that. Before we close Empire Storms until next week when we finish, I do have one prediction I'm going to make here.
Okay.
I do believe the 13 will be in battle with us. They
Mm.
have now been mentioned by Manon in this section, and my Sarah J. Maas foreshadowing brain is predicting their arrival and their help. Maybe against Maeve, maybe in the next book, but they'll come in and they're all alive. Well, maybe not all of them, but the important ones will be.
I'm dead.
All right, we're going to put Empire Storms behind us until next week. I'm so excited to finish. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Tower of Dawn, chapter 49. Nesrin, desperate for answers and times, begged the ancient spider to tell her the truth about Maeve. She explained that her mother had called her the Windseeker, a lover of stories, and the spider, amused by her boldness, agreed to share one final tale. The spider revealed that long ago, in a realm of endless cold and shadow, 3 Val kings ruled, brothers who commanded darkness and pain. Their children spread across the world, securing their dominion. But everything changed when a queen arose among them, her power a new and terrible song. Orcus, the eldest king, married her. Yet Maeve was restless. She spent her days unraveling the riddles of the world until, during one of Orcus's absences, she slipped through a tear in the worlds. She had watched and learned of these rips, gates that opened and closed at random if one knew the right words, and the spiders followed her to guard the portal. Maeve chose not to return to her husband or her realm. But Orcus and his brothers pursued her. They had forged keys capable of controlling the gates between worlds, 3 keys for 3 kings, and used them to travel from realm to realm. When they reached this world, they could not find her. Maeve had already hidden herself among a long-lived people ruled by 2 sister queens, Mab and Mora. Using their vowed power, she tore into their minds and implemented the belief that they had an elder sister, Maeve, so the 3 queens would stand ready should the 3 kings ever arrive. Nesrin realized this explained the legends of Maeve's strange, unnamed magic and her impossibly long life. Maeve, disguised and patient, learned how to defeat the Valg. When she discovered the king's keys, she coveted them, not only to banish her pursuers, but to wield the keys for her own purposes across worlds. She stole them, managing to send 2 kings back to their realm before Brennan intervened and took the keys from her, preventing her from banishing the last. Even he had been deceived by her. Before the spiders could say no more, another sister skittered in, announcing that at least 20 rucks were approaching. The spider ordered her kin to guard the mortal captives while she dealt with the incoming riders. Nesbrin whispered Sartok's name and his eyes fluttered open. The spider hissed one final word. Hurry!
Oh my God.
I am actually kind of annoyed at myself that I didn't realize this was Falcon at first. Because I'm like, dummy. I'm like, oh, there's a spider that's helping them? Duh, it's fucking Falcon.
Yeah.
But you know what? I knew fucking Maeve was Valk Queen. So,
Yes.
fuck it.
That's the most important. But do you know what's
That
so crazy is that if Brandon had just given Maeve a little bit more time before he stole the keys from her, we could have banished Erewhon and none of this would be happening. I mean, you'd have to defeat Maeve, but
Yeah.
like,
I think her having 3 keys is scarier than battling fucking Erewhon.
I don't know. Now we have to battle both of them. Like, I'm just saying, like,
True.
if we just had to battle one and not 2,
Yeah,
it might have been better.
true. But I feel like even one of them having all 3 of the keys would have been doom. Whether it was Maeve or if it's going to be Erewhon.
I mean, she did hold all 3 keys at one point, and she had banished 2 of the kings and hadn't done anything crazy yet. But
yeah, but I think she was planning on it.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, I can't wait to see what I can do between all these worlds once I banish these motherfuckers.
Yeah, but like how she tore into their minds and implanted the belief that they had an older sister.
Yeah.
Which is
wild. Did not see that coming.
So crazy.
Crazy. I loved learning that story about Maeve. It was definitely a game changer. I did not even think she could have made up the whole fucking thing. Like, that was wild to me. Now I'm like, who's the big bad guy? Is it Maeve or is it Erewhon?
Well, I think they're equally just as bad.
And they're not working together.
No.
Maybe they will eventually to work against Aelin, but they're like, he does not fucking fuck with her and she doesn't fuck with him.
No, because she wants to she's like, I would have banished you the first time because I don't need you taking me back to my husband. Like,
yeah.
Fuck you. Girl power, but like in a bad way.
Literally. So thank God for Brandon for intervening, but also to your point, We would have only had one of them, but what are you going to do? Falcon to the rescue, making up that the Rooks are coming so that they can distract the spider after this crazy story, and hopefully they can escape.
Hopefully. All right, my last chapter of this episode, Tower of Dawn, chapter 50. Sartok sagged in relief when he heard Falcon's voice emerge from the spider's mouth, revealing that Falcon had been impersonating the creature to buy them time. As Nezrin hauled herself free, Falcon worked quickly to reach Sartok, urging them to hurry and reminding them that their weapons lay in the corner. He warned them that it would not be long before the spiders realized that no one else was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sartok confirms that he heard the spider's revelation about Maeve. As they fled up the slope, they found no sign of Kadara, and Nezrin realized they would need fire to survive. These spiders were Valk, and they hated flames. Foreshadowing. Using Sartok's hair and strips torn from her shirt, they fashioned a makeshift fire arrow and shot it into the sky. Nezrin followed with more arrows, striking the lead spider, their leader, directly in the abdomen, causing chaos. Though Nezrin urged Falcon to shift into another form, he remained a spider, choosing to fight them head-on to buy her and Sartok time. Before joining the battle, he confessed that his brother had sired a child, and that he had been searching for his shifter niece in Rifthold after she was cast out by her mother.
Wild.
Nezrin immediately realized who he meant, but before she could speak, Falcon leapt into the fight.
Wild.
Another spider attacked Sartok and then turned on Nezrin. As Nezrin drew her fey blade to strike, a ruck slammed into the spider and sent it tumbling off the cliff. The rescuer was not Kadara, but Arcus, and Bort had arrived just in time to save the day.
Hell yeah.
We're just battling our way out of these fucking gross-ass spiders. I'm just like ready for this to be over. But I guess the biggest revelation of this chapter is that Falcon and Lysandra are related.
I know. I love that for her. She has a long-lost uncle and she doesn't even know.
I know. She has family that she
Hopefully
doesn't
she
even know
gets to meet
exists.
him.
We'll see.
We shall see, darling.
But Bort is here to save the day. Tell us what happens, Amanda.
Indeed, darling. Last chapter of the episode, Tower of Dawn, chapter 51. Bort and Arcus dove through the chaos once more, and suddenly Kadara appeared, racing towards them with two other Ruks at her wings. Nezrin spotted Uran among the riders just as Kadara and the others swept in, snatching her and Sartok out of the spider's reach and lifting them into the sky. But Bort wasn't finished. She drew a flaming arrow, and in the next heartbeat, hundreds of lights flared across the sky as Ruk riders ignited their own arrows. The sky became a storm of fire. Like a cascade of falling stars, the flaming arrows rained down upon the darkness below, igniting Dagon Fells in a sweeping blaze. Suspended in Kadara's talons, Sartok looked at Nezrin with the words he had confessed still hanging between them, unspoken but alive. Nezrin met his gaze and smiled back, the firelight flickering across both of their faces as the nightmare below burned. Wild. So your chapter was foreshadowing for the rainstorm of fire.
Yes.
Thank God for Bort. Our duo got out of, and Falcon actually. So our trio got out of the clutches of these stupid fucking spiders. And they are all burning.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Nomad's guarding the word gate now.
Bitch.
Honestly, Sartok and Nezrin, that was the most exciting thing about their story, though, fighting the spiders. Even though I hated the spiders, that was the one thing about Tower of Dawn. Obviously, I know we're on a new continent, southern continent. We had to learn the world building. We had to learn the magic. Everything was for a reason, but by far the best section of Tower of Dawn so far.
Oh, for sure.
For fucking sure.
Revelations and action is what we've been missing.
Yes, we learn about Maeve.
About the Fae, the first war was fought there.
The first war, about the healers.
Yes.
Oh my God, so much goodness in this section. That was so fucking good.
Yeah.
I can't believe we finished Empire of Storms next week. But also, I'm glad we still get to read Tower of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like now something crazy still has to happen.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like they're about to get called to fucking war. And we're about to all be together again.
Well, I feel like we're just going to be wrapping up the southern continent.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything all that exciting.
Yeah. That was,
I can't actually remember.
Of Tower of Dawn. Is that what you're saying, Megan?
I don't know. I can't remember. Obviously, we still have to figure out what Hafiza knows about the scrolls. And
Yeah.
I mean, there was Val still going after Irene. Like, I honestly can't remember, which is weird because I remember exactly how Empire Storms ends. I actually can
Interesting.
kind of picture the last chapter in Tower of Dawn in my mind, but anything from here to that, I'm like, I can't remember.
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to wait then.
Yes.
2 more weeks to finish that book, but at least we'll get a little bit more next week while we
Yes.
finish Empire Storms.
Yes.
And that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on, or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this Sunday, actually,
Yes.
February 1st, we are discussing The
Yes.
Hunted Heir and The Rivaled Crown by Holly Renee. We love chatting with you guys, so come and don't be shy.
Yes. Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next time for part 11 of the Tandem Read by Sarah J. Maas, featuring Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Happy reading!